Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another TheeSportsScoop video. Happy Halloween, technically. We are recording this on Halloween. But happy Halloween. Hope you guys all had a good one. I was on a flight for half of Halloween, and then I got home, and I did not feel like doing anything. So I really didn't celebrate Halloween, unfortunately. But, you know, a lot of teams had their biggest nightmares this week. The Bengals lost to a backup quarterback of a 1-5 team. And he put up 400 yards and 34 points and a game-winning drive. That wasn't great as well. Guess who else got beaten by a backup quarterback? The GOAT, Tom Brady, loses to the Saints. Yeah, so a lot of nightmares this week, but today it is just me, Cian McDermott, and Dylan Shalom. If you guys have been watching, you know that we generally do have two other hosts, Suraj and Charlie Nidell. But as always, this is our Week 9 predictions. You guys know how it goes. Currently, as it stands, Suraj and Charlie. Suraj has caught to Charlie finally, who was gaining a substantial lead these past 3 weeks, I would say. But we called it in our last week predictions. We all said we had a ton of varying picks last week. We said this is the week where it's going to get close, it's going to get separated. Suraj took that advantage as him and Charlie stand at 79 and 41. Dylan, I believe you're 77 and 43. So you're 2 games away out of nowhere.
Right in there, yeah.
And then I am 70 and 50. So good to get 70 in. I wasn't great this week. Dylan, you weren't great this week. But still, I mean, 9 games back, that can, you know, it can change. But as always, if you guys do want to predict along with us, you can comment any 3 games down below. You can comment all games. Just comment any games you guys think. Comment what your thoughts are on some predictions. And we will always stay up to date with that. But without further ado, let's get into the predictions.
Starting up with our Thursday night football matchup, and we're going on to a team with a hot hand. Mike White and his New York Jets are going into Lucas Oil Stadium to face off the Colts, who played the Titans, to a very, very tight game, and then Carson Wentz did a Carson Wentz and lost them the game. So, Cian, what do you think?
Yeah, again, I was on a flight, so I didn't get to watch much football. So if my predictions are a little bit off, I do apologize. But the first thing I got when I landed, Suraj texted me, other host on the channel, that the Jets won. And I was like, wow, like that's impressive. And then I remembered that they played the Bengals, and then I saw that they scored 34 points. Look, Mike White looked really good. Again, this rookie quarterback class is one of the most interesting things ever, because now it comes down to, was this Zach Wilson and not the scheme? It's you know, a ton of questions thrown, and Saleh came out and he said, if Mike White keeps playing like he's playing, he's going to be that starting quarterback, obviously, for a Jets team that we thought would be a little bit better this year, and maybe be in that playoff conversation. Obviously not anymore, you know, maybe as a wild card, but not anymore, I would assume. But again, Mike White, he looked like the quarterback that would give this team the best chance to win, spreading the ball around really well, even caught his own 2-point conversion. This one, I'm going to go with the Colts. I think we see a lot of these quarterbacks still, especially of recent history. Gardner Minshew, Taylor Heineke, guys who kind of come in and are that, you know, they're white, which is, never mind, there's nothing to do with it. But these kind of like white, undersized quarterbacks who just come in and are really good for one game. And I feel like Mike White, hopefully, please be a great quarterback. That would be a fantastic story. But I think the Colts will come on top on this game.
I'm going to have to agree with you. I'm going to go with the Colts, although I did think the difference that was made was that they limited Mike White's throwing the ball deep downfield. They had him throw a lot of short passes, and they got Jamison Crowder involved a lot more, which I think made a big difference in their passing game. And then again, limiting his deep passes meant more touches for Michael Carter, who had his best game of his career so far. So I think those two factors, getting Crowder and Michael Carter involved in the game, along with the excellent run defense put up by the Jets. Mixon had 2 touchdowns, but was limited to, I believe, under 50 yards. So that also really helped them out. But I'm going to go with the Colts here. I just think they have too many weapons offensively, and the Jets, I don't think they're going to be able to have lightning strike twice for them. An upset is going to happen every once in a while. They beat the Titans earlier in the year. They're not going to be able to beat the Colts here. Give me the Colts on Thursday. And moving in.
And as always, guys, just before if you guys saw on that graphic, Suraj and Charlie's picks will still be in. They just won't be recording. So if it says Suraj and Charlie next to the logo, that is who. So if you're new, they're the 2 other hosts who can't be on. But continue, Dylan. What do we got next?
Moving into the next one, we have another matchup with a New York team, and a team that I believe right now, if I don't know if I've made this very apparent, but I think this team is going to be a definite wild card place for the AFC, and I'm very high on this team right now. It's the Raiders and the Giants. What do you got, Cian?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think, obviously my Giants play Monday night, so they will play tomorrow night. Again, all of our records are, not up to date from Monday night. So as always, we want to let you guys know that. But look, I think this is one of those games where it's not, it's not going to be the mainstream game. I think the Raiders are a good team. I think it's really been an awkward season. Obviously, the John Gruden, kind of fiasco kind of put them in a little bit of a pit, but I think they've got out of it. I think the Raiders have looked good. They've looked like a team that can, high score. And I think, as I've been saying, Casey Hayward, I think he's one of the most underrated free agent signings. He's consistently been a fantastic defensive player in a secondary that kind of needed mentoring. I think Derek Carr he's always been a slept-on quarterback. I think he's always a guy who's been underrated. I think he's a guy. I think him and Matt Ryan, I think we're great way to put this. I'm not where I saw this, but if you were to make a book on how to be a quarterback, I think those two guys could contribute very, very much to that. I think Derek Carr kind of has that ability to play very well. I believe he is the only quarterback. I'm not sure what the stat was. He had an 100% completion percentage last week, I believe. So he's been good. Look, Derek Carr's been a fantastic quarterback. I think, it's a Raiders team that we've kind of seen go up and down the past 2 seasons. They've been good, and then they kind of, go 500. So I'm going to go for the Raiders here. Again, I would love to go for my Giants. I think they could potentially upset the Chiefs, but again, I don't think lightning would strike twice if they were to beat the Chiefs. But I think this one is definitely could go either way, because I think the Giants, can always come out and make a game out of it. But Dylan, what do you think?
I'm going the Raiders here. I'm very high on this team. I think they have everything figured out, and I think the last piece they had to figure out was how they're going to get rid of John Gruden, and they figured it out.
Yeah.
So
he figured it out.
He figured it out on his own.
They found it out.
They found it out, yeah. But offensively, it's not as much Waller-centric as it is going out to their receivers, which Brian Edwards and Henry Ruggs and Hunter Renfrow have played big parts in this offense, alongside the two-headed dragon that they have in the back of Josh Jacobs and Kenyon Drake, who have been torturing defenses all season. And then you have Casey Hayward in the secondary, Trayvon Mullen in the secondary, and Max Crosby, who looks like an absolutely different monster this season. So those players put around are going to be able to take down the Giants. Give me the Raiders.
There we go.
Now, moving into the next game, now we have Trevor Siemian's Saints. I'm assuming it might be Taysom Hill. I don't know. And then the Matt Ryan-led Atlanta Falcons, who just had a tough loss to their divisional rivals, the Carolina Panthers. What do you got?
Yeah, you'll never, ever, ever catch me saying I think Taysom Hill should start. He is not a quarterback in my eyes. I don't think he can be one. Trevor Siemian, again, I looked at some of the highlights. I was able to catch a little bit of the game in the airport. Look, it's one of those things where if you can beat Tom Brady and put up 36 points, that's great. Obviously, we know Trevor Siemian bounced around. He's on the Broncos. He's been around. I'm not sure what team. He was on the Texans, I think. I'm not sure. Was he on the – again.
He was in Minnesota for a little bit, backing up Cousins.
Yeah, not sure. He's obviously, kind of one of those backup guys who's bounced around. I know Winston was carted off. It didn't look like a excruciating injury where he, looked terrible, but obviously I think he sprained his knee or he twisted it.
They're looking at it. It looks like it's going to be ACL, which is terrifying.
That's terrible. It's really, it's not an NFL season without several players tearing their ACL. Obviously, terrible prayers go out to him. But again, and always, obviously, as we talk about the Atlanta Falcons, Calvin Ridley, as we saw, is out indefinitely due to mental health. So obviously, prayers up to Calvin Ridley, prayers up to anybody with mental health issues. That's obviously terrible. Hopefully we can get Calvin Ridley to come back because he's such an electric player. But obviously, we want to respect that, but also respect the fact that he won't be playing, and that will be an impact for this Carolina team that now is going to rely heavily on Cordell Patterson in the run game and in the receiving game. And now you look at really an Atlanta team that had so much kind of abundance at wide receiver last year with Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, Russell Gage, and now it's definitely a little bit more breadth. And I think with Kyle Pitts there, you guys know how much I love him. I was saying he's the best tight end last week. I didn't get to see really how well he did this week. But
catches 13 yards.
Okay, so not very good. But again, up and down for the rookie. I think this is definitely a tougher one. Obviously, we saw what happened to Matt Ryan's hand. He got stepped on.
Yeah.
Here, I don't know what was. I thought it was a Halloween costume. I thought he put that, not a costume, but he put that there for Halloween. I was like, oh no. This one, this is a tough one, Dylan. This is definitely a tough one because I think it really depends on who's starting. I'm going to go for the Saints because I think, unfortunately, it's just a Falcons offense that I think if that's the best part of their team is that ability for the offense to have an explosive game here and there. But I'm going to go for the Saints, and I want to shout out AJ Terrell. The second, he's been fantastic. One of the lowest passer ratings on target. I believe he's like 39. He's been great. Good to see. But yeah, I'm going to go for the Saints in this one. Dylan, what do you got?
I'm going to disagree with you here. I'm going to go with Atlanta. And again, I have some simple logic when it goes to the Saints. Up, down, up, down, up, down. They're incredibly inconsistent. And now this week they just went and beat the Buccaneers. I'm just going to take that, flush that down the toilet. Atlanta's taking them down. It's simple logic. They play well one week, they play badly the next one, and it helps a lot to see Trevor Siemian coming into this game, most likely against Atlanta, whose defense has actually not looked like the worst in the league. They've looked like the third worst in the league. So I guess that's a little bit of an improvement. And
never would I think Dylan Schaum would be betting on trends. That's never something I would think. You say, I'm not casual fan. Never mind.
But Atlanta, they've got their pieces together. It looked like they were able to include Mike Davis in the offense today, which was very satisfying for me because it was about time. And Cordero Patterson, obviously electric. Not as big of a game for him today, but he had a good game anyway. And Atlanta all around, I think, have a team that is capable of beating the Saints. And again, judging by the up, down trend, I'm going Atlanta. Now, moving in to the next one. This one, I would say, is the easiest game to predict of the entirety of the season. We've got Buffalo going into Jacksonville.
Okay, definitely would not say the easiest to predict. I 100% think this could be an upset game. I think the Jaguars could win this game. I'm not going to predict them. I think the Jaguars could definitely – when you have Trevor Lawrence as your quarterback, that kind of sneakily good offense – not good offense, but that sneakily kind of young – you have James Robinson. It all depends. Like if you have Chark has a good game, it's Chark's back. Yeah, Chark is out for sure.
Chark's out for the season. James Robinson
sorry, because of his hand. Right.
Robinson got hurt.
James Robinson. Okay, so I wasn't gonna predict the Jaguars anyway, so it's not like I'm digging myself in a hole. But I think the Bills, obviously this has more of a chance to be a blowout than not. But I think the Jaguars could stick in it. I think you could. This definitely could be a closer game. But I'm gonna go for the Bills here. I think this is a. My saying is, when you're doing predictions and it's a clearly, very, very much in favor of one team, don't over-explain it. It's very simple. They will win because they are better.
The Buffalo Bills will defeat the Jacksonville Jaguars because they are better.
Yeah,
that's exactly what you just said. I'm going to just pile onto that a little bit. The Jaguars were unable to put up any points against the Seahawks until the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter, and the Seahawks do not have a specifically good defense. They also did one of the worst things in possibly the entire season, which is they let up an onside kick return for a touchdown.
Oh, God.
Travis Homer brought it back for a touchdown. And Urban Meyer also does not know how to do math because they were down 24-6, and they hit an extra point instead of going for 2 to make it a 2-score game. But it didn't make much sense.
Simple error.
Simple error. And against the Bills, you're not going to be able to afford that, although I don't think it'll matter for them as they'll be down by 15 at the quarter. So give me the Buffalo Bills.
That's a weirdly specific number.
15.
That's like a touchdown, then another one with 2 points.
Give me the next game, which is a very interesting one, to say the least. It's two teams that lost this week, but two teams that are very much still in the playoff race for sure. It's the Browns and the Bengals.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. I think we see a lot of teams this year get, kind of decimated by injuries, and I think the Browns are another one of those teams. The Browns now, obviously very high on them going into the season. You look at this team defensively, they have so much potential. In 5 years, this could be one of the best defenses we've ever seen if Greg Newsome pans out, if Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah pans out, Myles Garrett will be at the top of his prime. Obviously John Johnson. And now obviously a ton of injuries. I think Baker Mayfield, did he play this week? He did play this week, I believe. and Dylan sneezes. But yeah, Baker Mayfield did play this week, obviously with that torn labrum, or I'm not sure what happened to him. But again, losing to the Steelers, where I think we consistently underrate the Steelers. I think you really look at them and it comes down to, oh wait, Ben Roethlisberger is their quarterback. But they've been able to win games. But this one, I think the Bengals obviously, really, really bad loss this week. That was a game where it was like, if you're a Bengals fan, if you're in the Bengals locker room, you're like, damn, that was not, this team was looking like, I thank God I didn't post that. I was going to post a potential there, like Super Bowl contenders, or like, not Super Bowl, but they can make it far in the playoffs. Obviously that loss to the Jets is very, very much disproving of my point. So thank God I didn't post that. But I'm going to, in a very long explanation, I'm going to go for the Bengals here. I think they bounce back. I think this offense, obviously we know the Burrow-Chase connection is arguably the best in the league right now. I think Mixon's been able to pick it up as of recent weeks. I believe it's his second game in a row with 2 touchdowns, if I'm not wrong. So he's been good. And I think he's an offensive line that has been fantastic, and the defense is one of the best in the league. So I'm going to go for the Bengals here, assuming the Browns are still injury-ridden. But Dylan, what do you think?
I'm going for the Bengals as well, and it's a simple reason. It's not really due to Bengals' merit. It's due to the fact that I've watched the Browns for, I think, 7 of the 8 weeks this season, and they have failed to impress me once. I have not been impressed by their offense. The only players that I've looked at and said, okay, these are some top-tier players: Myles Garrett, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. The secondary is a shambles at the moment. I know they only gave up 15 points to the Steelers, but they gave up 15 points to a potato. So it doesn't sound so bad, but you got to remember who they're up against. They're not up against a great offense. So putting that to the side, though, the Bengals just came off a very, very frustrating loss. Zach Taylor, who is honestly one of the candidates for Coach of the Year so far, I think he's going to train them hard in practice, get them ready for a big divisional game, and they go into Paul Brown Stadium and they beat the Browns. Give me the Bengals. Going into the next one, this is a very interesting game, and I'm honestly not sure where I stand on it, and now I am because I thought about it a little bit more. Give me the Patriots versus the Panthers. What do you got, Cian?
Yeah, again, it's a Panthers team that it has been a very odd season. I feel like I don't even know how to explain it. You know what I mean, Dylan? It's been like...
Keep in mind that Sam Darnold was very heavily concussed at the end of the game. We don't know what's going to happen.
Oh, no. Okay, so I didn't see it. So P.J. Walker started, though, right?
No, Darnold started.
Okay. Again, you guys know, didn't get to watch a lot this week. But, again, going to next week, we saw Patriots beat a Chargers team. Kudos to you, Dylan, who had that game. And I think that's definitely one where if you were to look at, in depth, that was definitely one where you could predict to go that way. I think Mac Jones, we've talked about, we've had lengthy arguments or discussions in our group chat about, the quarterback class. I think Mac Jones right now is easily the best. I think Fields is, starting to get up there a little bit. I'd say Fields is probably 2 now. Lawrence, have not heard his name, but we will get into that maybe in another video. Look, I think it's a Mac Jones. It's a Mac Jones who will go, will go up against a Carolina team, but I think it's a tough game because it's 2 teams I would say are pretty comparable. I think you look at the defenses, both have pretty high upsides. They're both, probably top 20 defenses, give or take a couple spots. And then it's offenses that, obviously have their high-flying players. I'm not sure if McCaffrey will be back, as he's been, in some recent trade talks. But I'm going to go for the Patriots as well. I think that's what you were trying to say when you were giving the intro. But I'm going to go for the Patriots in this one. What do you got?
Yeah, I was thinking about this going into it, thinking maybe Sam Darnold comes in and pulls off something, but I remembered he might not be able to play. So I'm going to go the Patriots. They just came off definitely their 2 best games of the season. I see no reason to why that's going to stop. Don't really have much of a reasoning to it. Their wide receiver core looks like they're able to handle some good secondaries, as we saw with LA yesterday, or today. I don't know why I said yesterday. But they'll be able to handle the Panthers for sure, and maybe a Stephon Gilmore revenge game. That's one of the storylines here. He had an interception today.
Oh, he did? Oh, I have to watch the highlights. I didn't see. What number is he?
I'm not sure, actually. I just saw
probably 24.
But either way, I'm going to go with Mac Jones and the Patriots, bringing them up to a winning record, which hurts my head. But moving into the next one, we've got the Broncos, who just beat the football team in a very hard-fought game that they brought amongst themselves off of a fourth-quarter fumble, which Heineke managed to lose them field position. And then the Cowboys, who I believe will be able to play with Dak Prescott next week.
Yeah, I think Dylan definitely we both predicted that it was kind of going to be a scrappy game against the Broncos and Washington, both, average offenses and then, good defenses. But look, going up against a Cowboys team, this Cowboys offense is arguably the best in the league. I think we've seen the offenses that are at the top are very, very, very elite. Cardinals, Cowboys, Chiefs. Oh wait, no, Bucks. I would say the Cowboys and Cardinals are currently the two best and the most high.
LA.
Rams. LA, Rams, yeah, that's a good point. But I think it's going to be a Cowboys win. I think this Cowboys team is legit this year, and I'm a Giants fan. But, in these prediction videos, I do not feel any bias. I think this Cowboys team is fantastic. I think Dak Prescott, we know coming back, was going to be very good, and it's a receiver core that's electric. It's a defense I think has stepped up, and obviously I'm not the biggest fan of Trayvon Diggs. I will not say he's overrated as much anymore, but I think whatever. We'll get into that. That's another video we should do. But I'm going to go for the Cowboys.
I agree.
This one. Dylan, what do you think?
I'm also going to go for the Cowboys. Again, have not been impressed by the Broncos throughout their entirety of the season except for their Week 1 win against the Giants. And I have been thoroughly impressed by the Cowboys all season. I don't really think it needs much of an explanation. They're better. They have a better roster. Even with Cooper Rush, I think they'd be able to beat the Broncos. So give me the Cowboys. Okay. Moving into the next one, we've got the battle of the purple teams. Ravens, Vikings.
Well, that's one way to say it. Look, if you've been watching, my mic has not been connected this entire time. Let me switch it. There we go. Now.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, it was not connected, but look, I think it's this again. These games are hard this week because it's a Vikings team that we know can be on upset alert, and it's really unfortunate because it's a good Vikings team that consistently I feel like goes up against a team that they're slightly unfavored against, and you're like, yeah, but I can't go with the Vikings this week, and I can't go. I mean, I think Lamar Jackson, one of the front runners for MVP, obviously on a bye week, coming off a bye week. I think it'll be a Ravens win. I think a fresh-legged Ravens offense is going to be able to take down a Vikings defense that's been average, and I think obviously the Ravens defense hasn't been as good as it has been in past years, but is still very, very talented. So I'm going to go for the Ravens in this one.
If it weren't for Lamar Jackson, this would be the ideal game for the Vikings. They go player for player, man for man, on every aspect of the game other than Lamar Jackson and the kicker. But this is the game that this would be incredibly even again if it wasn't for Lamar Jackson. So I'm going to quit talking about how even they would be without Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is going to win the Ravens this football game. He is going to be able to break out of any scheme defense that the Vikings bring against them. He's just that special. They can bring 45-year-old running backs into their offense and win games like that, but this game is going to be down to Lamar, Marquise Brown, Rashad Bateman. Give me the Ravens. And now for the first, as one of my favorite YouTubers, the Urinating Tree, says, the first tank bowl of the season. We've got the Dolphins and the Texans.
Yeah, finally a game, a break the Dolphins will get this week because they go to the Ravens Thursday night, Week 10.
I really hope so. My God.
Yeah, but again, this is another game where the Ravens could lose. The Dolphins could lose. It's a very, very bad Dolphins team. Unfortunately, this Dolphins team is not good. Dylan, your team is terrible. Your team is one of the worst teams in the NFL.
I acknowledge this, yes.
And it sucks. Look, it's a Texans team that is, non-talented. You lost Mark Ingram, who unfortunately was one of your better players, which is slightly embarrassing to say. And look, I mean, Brandon Cooks right now is like, what the hell? Why am I even on this team? But look, I think it's going to be – this is a tough one, Dylan, because the Texans could very, very much win this game. And I think there's definitely a chance. I feel like they're going to win it. But for the sake of being a little bit sane and not going too much of upset picks this week, I'm going to go for the Dolphins. But I think, again, this could be a it's not one that we'll particularly watch very vigorously, but it could be an interesting game.
This is the game that's going to make me regret every choice I've ever made in my life. I'm going to have the Texans beat the Miami Dolphins this week, and I'm very, very
No, you're not. That's a
I
joke.
am. No, I'm not kidding.
What?
This team is so disfigured. It's so unorganized. It's breaking me to the core, and I can't go ahead and say that they're going to win. And if the trade deadline gets here and they haven't traded for Deshaun Watson, I can't change my prediction, but I can change my mindset on the game because there are so many distractions going into it. There were so many distractions going into it. They were not mentally ready to play the Buffalo Bills, and they played them hard defensively, but offensively they did not have anything going for them. Not going to blame Tua too much. He didn't do terribly, didn't do amazing, which is kind of what we've gotten out of him week after week. So I'm reluctantly giving this game to the Texans just so that if they win the game, I have a little bit of a silver lining. But yeah, give me that.
All right, saving face.
Moving into the next one, we've got the Chargers and the Eagles. I'm very confused by the Chargers right now, and equally by the Eagles. What do you get?
Yeah, it's this week is really. I don't know if confusing is the right word, but you've seen a lot of kind of higher profile teams lose, and now it's like, where are they at? I think it's probably about time to do an updated power rankings. I think this week could be one of the bigger changes in terms of what the rankings are. Look, it's an Eagles team that manhandled, took apart, and crucified the Church of Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell's Church of Football, excuse me. Look, 44 points. That is, I think, yeah, I mean, what is there to say? 44-6. That's not. I predicted the Lions to win this game, and for obviously Jalen Hurts and this offense to go out there and do that. And I think again defensively, someone who does not get enough credit, Darius Slay, has been fantastic this season. Was really good again this week. I think it'll be the Chargers. Again, the Chargers coming off a disappointing loss. I think they knew it would be a good game, but coming off a disappointing loss to a rookie quarterback where Herbert is now like, okay, falling a little bit, still very electric. But I'm going to go for the Chargers here. But I think, again, it's two offenses that have potential to score a lot, and it's two defenses that are good, not great. And I think the offense can exploit one another's defense. But I'm going to go for the Chargers in this one.
I'm gonna go another upset pick here.
Okay.
I'm interested. I think I'm interested to see what the NFL is gonna say about their wonder kid Justin Herbert after this week, because he has looked terrible for the past 2 weeks. And I'm not trying to draw anything into Tua Herbert. I know Herbert's obviously better. I'm not bringing any of that into this, but I'm telling you that Justin Herbert has not looked good at anything at all in the last 2 weeks. He was inaccurate today. He was not mobile enough today. He waited way too long to make his throws today. He couldn't find his wide receivers today. And then against the Ravens, we saw that. We don't know. So I think the Eagles are going to be able to take advantage of the poor run of form and I think humble this Los Angeles team that we're talking so hot going into the next couple weeks. So I'm going to go Eagles. And I might be completely off here, and I'm acknowledging that, and I might get a game wrong that all of you guys gain on me. But I'm feeling this one, and It's another gut feeling just like I had for the Patriots. I'm going Eagles. Moving into the next one, we've got the old age versus the new age. Aaron Rodgers and his Packers versus Patrick Mahomes and his Chiefs.
Yeah, this is a big storyline that we haven't got to yet. If the Chiefs lose against the Giants, questions will be... again, if the Chiefs lose to the Giants, I can promise you a video will be coming out from this channel no matter how busy we are. But look, it's a Packers team that arguably looks like I think, arguably looks like the best team in the National Football League. Go to Arizona, get a big win. No wide receiver one. No offensive tackle. They were losing. Jair Alexander wasn't there. And they won. Again, Rasul Douglas, who I always have liked him as a quarterback. He's kind of been a chippy guy who will get, a couple, flags against him, but has been a good cornerback overall. And the fact that I think a Cardinals team that could have definitely used him, obviously, as he was picked up from their practice squad. I think, we always remember was when he was on the Eagles. I believe it was at that Thanksgiving game, that final drive, and he got that clutch interception. Or no, he didn't get the interception. He jumped the route, hit the ball, and then it bounced behind him, and Amari Cooper caught it for the touch. I'm sure you know the play if you saw it.
Yeah,
but he was very good that entire game. Look, he's always been a corner who I like, and corner is my favorite position, so a guy I definitely have followed. And I think for a Packers team, him and Eric Stokes, good enough, I guess. But for this one, I'm going to go for the Packers. I think the Chiefs will be either 4-4, hopefully, or 3-5. Wait, what would they be? What are they right now? They're 3-4 currently, right?
They're currently a 3-4 team. Yes.
3-4. So they could be 3-6 after this one if they lose to the Giants. But I'm assuming they'll be 4-5. But I'm gonna go for the Packers. But then again, it's Patrick Mahomes. So, the fact that I am very easily predicting against him scares me because I would never ever think I would do that. But in the words of Charlie, never predict against Patrick Mahomes.
Damn it, I was gonna use that.
And I'm not going to do that. Packers.
So you're going Packers. Yeah, I have a similar phrasing to Charlie. Never bet against Patrick Mahomes, but for me, it's never bet against regular season Aaron Rodgers. These Green Bay Packers are some guys that are going to go out there and win a football game, regardless of who they're playing and who is on their team. This is a team that is run well. They function well offensively. They function well defensively. We saw one of the biggest games of the year in the State Farm Stadium of Arizona. And Green Bay is going to go and beat the Chiefs, who I think are going to beat the Giants pretty quickly and easily. But, again, if they don't, questions will have to be asked. And I'm not going to go tell you Andy Reid's job isn't
trade Mahomes.
No. But I think the Packers are going to win. I think they're going to focus on running the football because the Chiefs have not been able to defend that well enough. So give me the Packers. Moving in to the next one, we've got I believe 7-1 Cardinals. It might be 7-1 Cardinals.
7-1, I believe.
And the San Francisco 49ers. I'm going to go first here because I have an all video.
Mm-hmm.
Give me the Cardinals against the 49ers. I have said this in every game that I've had to bet against the 49ers. I do not think they are a good football team. I didn't say the A. I don't think they are a good football team. They don't have a good enough offense to put up with Kyler Murray. Oh, wait, no. You go first. I have to think this over and look something up. Kyler Murray might not be playing.
Why is that?
He got injured at the end of the game.
Oh, you're right. I don't know. I still think regardless, it's a very, very, very good Cardinals team. I think it was going up against the Packers, who were arguably hotter going into that week than the Cardinals were. But I think still it's a 49ers team that I think has the ability to put up points. It's really confusing. There's about 5 teams that I consistently look at them and I'm like, you're not that good, but they are. I think the 49ers obviously have had their ups and downs. Garoppolo started this week, right? I have not been in touch with.
He had a very good game, actually.
Yeah, I mean, Garoppolo, we know is, for the 49ers, when he's good, they win games. 33 points for them, obviously going up against Justin Fields, who had a fantastic game. We'll get to him on the Monday night prediction. But I'm going to go for the Cardinals as well here. I don't think Kyler Murray will be out for this game. I haven't heard anything serious come out in injury reports. Again, that will be a bigger news, but I think we can address that once that does come out. But I'm going to go for the Cardinals in this one.
I'm also going to go for the Cardinals because if I go for the 49ers and Murray plays, I'll never be able to forgive myself. So I'm going Kyler's Cardinals pretty easily. Again, that's not my opinion if he doesn't play because they are not going to win a game this season if they have to play. I believe his name is Chris Streveler, their backup. It might be Brett Hundley now. I'm not sure.
Chris Streveler, what a guy.
Yeah. Well, give me the Cardinals beating the Niners. Now, moving into our Sunday night game, we've got the Titans and the Rams. That's a very interesting one.
It is. The Titans won in overtime, 34 points against the Colts. Obviously, we touched on that earlier in the video. Derrick Henry, not a good week, 68 yards, no touchdowns. So, not fantastic from him. And then the Rams, we know the Rams consistently, have been a fantastic team. They were up 38-0 against the Texans at the end of the third quarter. This team, but then they end up giving up 22 points in the last quarter, if I'm wrong. So it was 40. Finals. I know the Texans put up 32, if I'm not wrong. Or not 32, 22.
I think
the final score, 38-22. So the Texans put up 22 points, but I'm sure that was against, obviously a backup Rams.
It was against
team.
their backups, yeah.
Yeah. This is definitely a game that I could 100% go either way. I'm going to go for the Rams here, but again, this is definitely I wouldn't say must-watch football, but this is a game you're going to want to be tuned into. I think it's two really good offenses and defenses that I guess have I wouldn't say defense that have made strides because the Rams defense was established coming to the season, but I think a Titans defense that has made strides. So seeing how they fare against a high-flying Matt Stafford offense. Obviously, Deshaun Jackson now has agreed to be traded, so we'll see where he goes before that deadline. But yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of stuff coming out of the NFL this week. But Dylan, what do you got for the Sunday night game?
This game's very, very interesting, and I think it comes down to one factor. Are they ready to unleash the beast? And that is Derrick Henry. And I think they're going to be able to do that even against Aaron Donald and his Rams run defense. And I think that Derrick Henry is going to run this game for 200 yards and win them the game. Okay. He's that big of a monster that I think he can beat anyone, and in prime time he always shows up. Maybe not today against the Colts. They won it anyway. A.J. Brown helped them along the way and definitely helped my fantasy team. I'm very grateful for that. But I think Derrick Henry's going to play his part and win them this game against the Rams. And there's really no other factor that I need to talk about because he's just that big of a monster. Give me the Titans. Going into the Monday night football game, and these are two teams with, I would say, stellar defenses and terrible offenses. We've got Justin Fields and his Bears against Ben Potato Roethlisberger and his Steelers.
Yeah, I think this could be a very, very boring game.
I'm not going to watch this game.
I don't know. Ben Roethlisberger really throws me off to some level that no other player in the league does. Like, he's just incredibly boring. And they don't look, because you even talk about him, you're yawning. He's really, like, it's at the point where it's like, how are you still starting? Like, why are you still in the league? I mean, he's won the game. I don't know, because I feel like, Ben Roethlisberger is a great quarterback of his time. He'll go down as one of the best. We'll say that. Is he right now? No. This is a tough one. I'm going to go for, I guess, kind of my first upset, I would say. I'm going to go for the Bears here. What do you got, Dylan?
I'm going with the Steelers. They've shown that no matter how bad their offense is, they're incompetent. We know this. But T.J. Watt and his pass rush and that defense altogether will be able to take down any other crappy offense like they did with the Browns this week and so many before them. The Steelers actually have a winning record right now, so we're going to go ahead and watch them pile onto that, take down Nagy and his Bears. Shouldn't be too big of a problem for them moving into their bye week. Yeah, so give me the Steelers on Monday night, and that's going to be all. You want to outro it?
That is going to be all. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. It's funny how it was only us two, but I think that was still as long as our regular videos would be if it was even four of us, but that's because we gave you the best analysis. Finally, this video I think will be back to the normal edited, posted Monday morning. So we do apologize for that. As always, guys, I don't want to be that guy, but school does come first for us. So we've been doing, it's been very, very heavy, at least for me. I think for you, Dylan.
Yeah,
but
me too,
Dylan,
yeah.
me, Charlie, and Suraj all go to the same school. Dylan goes to a different one. And, obviously work has been very hard with junior. So it's an important year, to say the least. But this week, not as much for me, I don't think. So I'll be able to hopefully record more. So we always do appreciate that. As always, if you guys are new to the channel, and you made it to the end, which a lot of people actually do. So I very, very much congratulate you. Let us know in the comments down below. But as always, comment your picks down below. Let us know what you think. Subscribe if you did enjoy. We're on the road to, I guess, goal I would say is 2K by the summer. We can say that. I don't know.
I think that's reasonable.
2K by the summer. So, if you want to help us get there, we're almost at 1,600. So we're inching there bit by bit. But the support recently has been very, very, awesome. So we hope you guys did enjoy. This was Cian McDermott. As always, Dylan Shalom. If you want to go message Dylan or me on Instagram, Cian_McD5, Dylan_Shalom. And you want to follow our TheeSportsScoop account where we post clips, interactive content soon. Dylan's entire rant about Tua in paragraph form. It's like 10 different graphics. Go check that out.
I got very annoyed.
_sports_scoop. Our TikTok we post a good amount. As always,
I got to
YouTube,
get back on that. Yeah.
YouTube we post almost daily, or hopefully. Some days we don't. Sometimes we post. All right, never mind. This outro is very long, but dude, we hope you guys did enjoy. Cian McDermott, Dylan Chow, weekly predictions. Come back for week 10. Yeah, the NFL is a great sport or league. Damn it. All right. We'll see you next time.